Hey dreamers, welcome back to the official Sleep Whisperer. Tonight, we're not just falling asleep, we're wandering through the hidden corners of time itself. So before you settle in, take a deep breath and let the noise of the day drift gently away. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more quiet journeys into calm and wonder. I invite you to dim the lights, let the soft hum of your room become the whispering wind of ancient forests, and let my voice guide you gently through the forgotten castles and kingdoms of Europe. One whisper, one breath, one story at a time. As the world outside your window hums with the familiar noises of life, cars passing, voices drifting, clocks ticking, let us take a moment to step away. Tonight, we leave behind the urgency of schedules, the pull of tasks unfinished, and the constant chatter of the mind. Instead, we invite ourselves into stillness, into a gentle quiet where time stretches and softens. Imagine a door before you, old and wooden, worn smooth by hands long gone, its iron hinges sighing ever so slightly, as if whispering a welcome. Beyond this door lies a world untouched by the hurried pace of modern life, a realm where history lingers in shadows and sunlight filters through ancient branches like soft golden ribbons. Take a deep breath now. Inhale slowly, filling your lungs with the cool, clean air of a place beyond the clamor. Hold it for just a moment, letting it settle in your chest like a warm, calming weight. And as you exhale, imagine all the tension in your body leaving with it. Your shoulders lowering, your jaw unclenching, your heart slowing to a gentle, even rhythm. With each breath, the world narrows to this quiet space, and the outer noise drifts further away, dissolving into something distant and unimportant. Visualize yourself standing on the threshold of a misty path, the kind you might imagine in a storybook or a memory of a dream that feels familiar even though you have never been there. The path is soft underfoot, cushioned by fallen leaves and moss, with occasional stones worn smooth by centuries of travelers. The air is rich with the scent of earth and pine, a perfume that feels grounding and safe. Around you, the light is gentle, neither bright nor harsh, but a soft, warm glow that seems to seep into your very bones. Each step you take is quiet, deliberate, yet effortless, as though the path itself is guiding you. Listen closely. You might hear the distant call of a bird, the rustle of a squirrel through the underbrush, or the whisper of the wind passing through tall trees. These sounds are soft, almost musical, each note a part of the ancient melody that surrounds this place. With each sound, your mind finds an anchor, a gentle reminder that the world is vast, yet here and now, it is yours to wander freely, with no rush, no expectation, no interruption. Now, imagine that the mist around you begins to part ever so slightly, revealing glimpses of what lies ahead. The silhouette of rolling hills, the faint outline of a castle tower, the shimmer of a river that winds lazily through the valley below. The scene is like a painting slowly coming to life, colors blending and shifting with the fading light, each detail a story waiting to be discovered. In this moment, you realize that stillness is not emptiness, but a space filled with quiet beauty, a sanctuary where your thoughts are allowed to float freely without burden, where your imagination can stretch and wander with gentle curiosity. As you walk further along the path, your attention may drift inward. Notice the rhythm of your own body, the steady beat of your heart, the calm rise and fall of your chest with each breath. Allow yourself to become aware of how it feels to simply exist in this space, to move slowly through a world that has no demands, no deadlines, only the soft unfolding of time itself. In this quiet, you are not required to perform, to think, or to plan. You are merely a traveler, a witness to the whispers of the land, the gentle exhale of history carried on the wind. Perhaps now you see shadows of trees arching over the path, their branches forming natural tunnels that seem to guide your steps. Through these tunnels, you catch glimpses of light, soft rays that fall like lanterns onto the ground, illuminating the way forward. Each light feels purposeful, not harsh, but inviting, drawing your gaze gently from one scene to the next. Your senses awaken not in alertness or stress, but in soft awareness, noticing colors, textures, and sounds with a calm curiosity, savoring each detail as if it were a secret meant only for you. As the path curves, You might imagine a quiet stream appearing to your side, its water glinting in the soft glow of twilight. You hear the gentle babble, the rhythmic lapping of water against smooth stones, each sound a quiet invitation to relax further. Kneel for a moment, or simply pause, and feel the cool mist rising from the stream. Let it brush your face, carrying with it a sense of renewal and peace. The water seems to murmur stories of days long past, of kingdoms and empires that once thrived here, now softened by time into whispers and echoes. And now, as you continue to walk, you realize that this journey into stillness is not about reaching a particular destination. It is about moving gently through the space between moments, about letting your mind and body drift like leaves on a calm river. With each step, you release the weight of the day, letting it dissolve into the soil beneath your feet. You are part of the quiet rhythm of the world now, a quiet observer in a vast, timeless landscape. So let your mind rest here for a while, in the hush of the hills, the shimmer of the stream, the soft glow of fading light. Let the stillness seep into every corner of your being, preparing you for the journeys yet to come, through misty hills, forgotten castles, and ancient forests. This is your invitation, to enter gently into calm, to let your thoughts soften, to let your breath guide you into the gentle embrace of night. The door to the lost kingdoms stands open, and you have taken the first step inside. Take one last deep breath now. Inhale peace, exhale tension. Feel the quiet wrap around you like a soft blanket. And know that from this moment forward, you are ready to wander softly through the forgotten worlds of Europe, carried by whispers, guided by the gentle rhythm of your own calm heart. As you leave the gentle stillness of the threshold behind, the path begins to rise, curling softly into the hills ahead. Mist clings to the slopes like a silken veil, softening the outlines of trees and rocks, and painting the landscape in muted shades of gray and silver. Each step you take is cushioned by damp earth and fallen leaves, the subtle squish under your feet grounding you further into the present, yet inviting your mind to wander into distant times and forgotten tales. The hills are alive with quiet murmurs, the rustle of branches, the sigh of the wind, and the faint hum of unseen creatures going about their nightly routines. It is a world where sound is delicate, almost reverent, each note a whisper in the cathedral of nature. The air here is cool and slightly sweet, carrying the faint fragrance of moss and wildflowers, even in the hush of early evening. As you breathe in, your chest expands not just with air, but with calm, a deep serenity that begins to unfurl from your shoulders down to your fingertips. You notice the way the mist wraps around your ankles, curling like soft fingers, inviting you to slow your pace and let your attention stretch across the hills. Each incline is gentle, each curve in the path deliberate, as if the land itself is guiding you to move with care, with awareness, with a patience that feels almost sacred. Take a moment to lift your gaze. The hills rise and fall like gentle waves frozen in time, each peak crowned with clusters of trees, their leaves shimmering in muted greens and grays, glistening with dew. Occasionally, a break in the mist reveals the silver shimmer of a distant river, winding like a thread of liquid light through the valleys below. The scene feels suspended between reality and dream, and you realize that here, in this soft twilight, imagination and history converge. Perhaps centuries ago, travelers like yourself once walked these same paths, their footsteps faintly echoing through time, leaving behind whispers of journeys that never fully fade. As you continue, the mist thickens slightly, curling around your legs and swirling with the gentle breeze. The sound of your own breath seems amplified, each inhale and exhale a rhythm that synchronizes with the hills themselves. You might catch glimpses of small woodland creatures, an owl perched silently on a low branch, its round eyes reflecting the fading light, or a fox darting across the underbrush, its movements swift and silent. These fleeting glimpses remind you that even in stillness, life moves quietly and purposefully, each being a part of the intricate, unseen tapestry of the land. The path winds upward now, and with each step, you feel a subtle shift. Not in the ground beneath you, but in your own perception. The mist becomes a companion, softening the edges of worry and tension, blurring the sharp lines of the day's concerns. Thoughts that once clung tightly now drift away like tendrils of fog dissolving in the early morning sun. Here, there is only the present, the soft crunch of leaves underfoot, the gentle rhythm of your steps, the whispering of wind through the tall grass. Each sound, each motion, each breath is a quiet meditation, a gentle reminder that to move slowly is to see deeply, to hear clearly, and to feel fully. At the crest of a small rise, the mist parts just enough to reveal a sweeping panorama of hills stretching toward the horizon. Shadows play across the valleys, and the light of a hidden sun creates pools of silver and gold that ripple across the landscape like liquid silk. You pause here, letting your eyes drink in the view, letting your mind wander across the distant slopes, imagining the villages, the castles, and the meandering rivers that might lie hidden just beyond the folds of the land. It is a moment of quiet awe, a gentle hum of wonder that settles into your chest and radiates outward, filling you with a calm joy that needs no words. As you descend slightly into a gentler slope, the mist seems to hug you closer, pressing softly against your cheeks like the touch of an old friend. Tiny droplets cling to your hair and clothing, cool and refreshing, as if the hills themselves are blessing your journey. You notice the small details, the intricate patterns of lichen on stones, the delicate spirals of fern fronds, the occasional splash of wildflowers brave enough to bloom in the quiet corners of the mist. Each observation draws you further into the present, into the intimate, subtle beauty of the world around you. The hills whisper stories now, not with words, but with sensation. The rhythm of your steps mirrors the gentle rise and fall of the slopes, your breath aligning with the quiet pulse of the land. You sense the echoes of countless travelers who walked before you, and though they are long gone, their journeys remain in the hum of the hills, the softness of the mist, the quiet rustle of leaves. Perhaps they, too, found solace here, a place where the clamor of life faded, where the mind could wander freely, and where the spirit could rest. As evening deepens, the mist grows heavier, curling around the hills in rolling, gentle waves. The light softens into the tender gray of twilight, and you feel a deep, unspoken invitation to slow even further, to let the hills cradle you in their gentle embrace. The path ahead seems to stretch forever, yet you walk without hurry, knowing that each step is enough, that the journey itself is the destination. The hills are patient, and so are you. Each breath is a lullaby, each step a whisper, carrying you softly toward whatever lies beyond the next curve in the mist. In this quiet ascent and gentle descent, you find yourself attuned to the soft music of the hills, the hum of wind through grass, the distant call of night birds, the subtle shift of mist curling and unrolling with each passing moment. It is here, in this calm, mist-wrapped landscape, that the first steps through Europe's lost kingdoms truly begin, with awareness, with stillness, with the soft unfolding of wonder that will carry you further into castles, forests, and forgotten villages. Take one last deep breath. Feel the mist against your skin, the hills beneath your feet, the quiet strength of the land supporting your journey. And with that, step forward gently, ready to follow the path deeper into the mysteries, the whispers, and the serene beauty of the kingdoms that time has long forgotten. As the mist of the hills gradually thins, the landscape begins to shift, revealing something both grand and quietly melancholic. The outline of a castle, half hidden in ivy and shadow, rising from the earth like a memory refusing to fade. Its towers reach toward the sky, worn but dignified, with crumbling stone walls softened by centuries of moss and lichen. You sense its presence before you see it fully, a subtle weight in the air, a hush in the wind, as if the land itself pauses to acknowledge a visitor returning to long-forgotten grounds. Each step toward it is filled with reverence, the path lined with stones that seem to hum faintly under your feet, whispering stories of those who built and once roamed these halls. The castle is not imposing in a harsh, intimidating way. Instead, it exudes quiet dignity, a serene testament to time's gentle persistence. Its walls, though weathered, retain the careful craftsmanship of hands long gone. Arched windows, some cracked or shuttered, peek out from the ivy that clings lovingly to their edges, while faded banners sway gently in the evening breeze, hinting at a time when color and life filled these silent courtyards. There is a softness to the decay, an elegance in the way nature has slowly claimed the structure, reminding you that beauty is not always in perfection, but in the gentle interplay of history and the present. As you approach the main gate, you notice the intricate details carved into the stone, the delicate spirals of flowers, the faint relief of shields, and the almost imperceptible marks of artisans who poured their care and time into every wall. The gate itself is heavy, wrought from iron and wood, and though it leans slightly from years of neglect, it still holds firm, as though protecting the secrets within. You pause before it, feeling a moment of stillness, listening to the subtle sounds around you. The soft rustle of leaves, the whisper of the wind through broken battlements, the faint echo of water dripping somewhere within the castle's forgotten courtyards. Stepping inside, the air is cooler, carrying a faint scent of damp stone, earth, and aged wood. The vast courtyard stretches before you, uneven underfoot, where grass and small wildflowers have taken root in cracks between flagstones. The sound of your footsteps feels amplified in the quiet, a gentle echo that seems to ripple through the empty space, a soft announcement of your arrival. You notice how the light filters through gaps in the walls and broken windows, casting long, delicate shadows across the ground. Each shadow feels like a memory, each ray of light a gentle caress, guiding your eyes to corners where time has left its subtle marks. Exploring further, you find narrow staircases winding upward into towers, their spirals steep yet inviting. The walls are cool beneath your touch, textured with centuries of wear, and you imagine the countless hands that once traced these very stones. Up above, the view from a battlement stretches across the hills and valleys beyond, revealing the soft shimmer of rivers, the curve of roads long abandoned, and the gentle folds of distant forests. In this moment, the castle feels like a bridge between eras, between the lives that once filled it and your own, connecting the present to a continuum of whispers and stories. Inside, the rooms are quiet, almost reverent. Dust drifts in golden shafts of light, and the faint scent of aged wood and stone lingers like a whisper of forgotten times. In one chamber, remnants of furniture are draped with time-worn fabric, and in another, a hearth remains, cold but dignified, as if waiting for a fire that will never come. Each room invites gentle curiosity rather than haste, asking you to linger, to notice the subtle traces of lives once lived, the scratch of a pen on parchment, the faint indentation of a chair in the floorboards, the shadowed outline of a painting that once hung proudly on the walls. In the great hall, the air feels almost sacred. The ceiling arches high above, supported by stone pillars that have stood unmoved for centuries. You imagine grand feasts once held here, the clink of goblets, the soft murmur of conversation, and the laughter that now exists only in memory. The walls, etched with faint murals and tapestries faded by sunlight and time, hint at stories of kings and queens, of triumphs and struggles that have long since passed into history. Each detail, though muted, is alive with the gentle heartbeat of the past, and you feel a quiet connection, as if the castle itself recognizes your presence as that of a willing witness to its enduring story. As you wander into the gardens, you notice the delicate resilience of life persisting even here. Wildflowers bloom among the ruins, their colors soft but bright, while ivy climbs higher, embracing crumbling walls with an almost tender persistence. A small fountain, worn and chipped, still trickles water, the sound a gentle lullaby echoing through the forgotten corridors. Birds flit about, finding safe havens among the towers, their song a sweet accompaniment to the soft sigh of the wind. Here, nature and history coexist in perfect harmony, each respecting the other's presence, each telling stories without words. As twilight deepens, the castle is bathed in the soft, diffused light of evening. Shadows lengthen, curling over courtyards and walls, while the faint glow of distant hills blends seamlessly with the stones around you. You find a quiet spot on the battlements or in a secluded corner of the garden, allowing yourself to breathe in the peace and stillness. The castle, though silent, feels alive, not with the hustle of the past, but with the serene rhythm of centuries unfolding slowly, patiently. Here, in the heart of Europe's forgotten kingdoms, you understand that discovery is not always about grand revelations or loud excitement. Sometimes, it is about gentle noticing, about allowing yourself to witness the beauty of endurance, the poetry of time, and the quiet dignity of what has been left behind. With one final, slow breath, you take in the castle in its entirety, the towers reaching skyward, the gardens persistent and soft, the corridors echoing with memory. You feel a gentle reverence settle in your chest, a calm joy for having found this hidden place. And though the world outside continues on, rushing and noisy, here you are suspended in quiet awe, connected to the stories, whispers, and gentle heartbeat of a castle that has patiently waited for someone to notice, to wander, and to remember. Step softly now, carrying the memory of this forgotten castle with you as you prepare to continue your journey through hills, villages, and forests yet unseen. The castle may remain silent, but its story lingers in your heart, a quiet guide into the gentle, lost kingdoms of Europe. After leaving the quiet solitude of the forgotten castle, you continue along the winding path that dips gently into a valley. The mist has lifted slightly here, revealing rolling fields dotted with wildflowers and ancient stone markers that hint at the passage of countless years. As you walk, a subtle awareness begins to settle in your mind. This land, these hills and valleys, were once alive with the voices of kings and queens, rulers whose names have long faded, but whose presence still lingers in the very air you breathe. Their whispers are not loud declarations of power, but soft echoes, felt rather than heard, like the faint vibration of a harp string that has been touched by time itself. You notice the way the wind shifts, carrying hints of scents both familiar and distant. Burnt wood from long extinguished fires, the faint aroma of roses that once bloomed in royal gardens, and the cool, clean smell of stone towers warmed by sunlight centuries ago. Each step you take brings you closer to an understanding of their lives, not through grand stories or written chronicles, but through subtle impressions, gentle suggestions of a presence that shaped these hills and valleys. You can almost feel the rhythm of their days, the measured pace of palace life, the quiet dignity of courtly ceremonies, and the occasional hush that fell over the land when decisions of great consequence were made. Ahead, the path bends around an ancient oak, its trunk wide and gnarled, roots curling deep into the earth. You pause beneath its branches, imagining a monarch of long ago walking the same path, their cloak brushing the leaves, their mind occupied with matters both grand and personal. Perhaps a queen paused here to reflect on her kingdom, or a king lingered to watch the sun dip behind distant hills. The oak, a silent witness, has absorbed the essence of these moments, holding them in the texture of its bark, the whisper of its leaves. For a brief instant, you feel connected to them, not as a visitor observing history, but as a participant in a continuum that stretches through centuries. As you move forward, small signs of royal life appear in unexpected places. The remains of a stone bridge, half collapsed and moss-covered, hint at the routes once traveled by courtiers and nobles, their footsteps echoing faintly in your imagination. Alongside it, fragments of ornamental gardens poke through the wild grasses, delicate blooms surviving against the odds, a reminder that beauty persists even when the grandeur around it fades. You can picture children of a royal household playing near the stream, the sound of their laughter blending with the murmur of flowing water, a simple joy that transcends time. Continuing through the valley, you reach a small clearing where the remains of a chapel rise quietly among the grass and stones. Though roofless now, the arches and pillars still convey dignity and reverence. Here, the whispers of kings and queens feel strongest. Perhaps they knelt here in private reflection or in solemn ceremony, offering silent prayers for their people, their kingdom, and themselves. The space resonates with a soft hum, a vibration that seems to echo through your chest as you take a seat upon a mossy stone. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the quiet of the chapel enfold you, feeling as though the spirits of these rulers are gently observing, their presence neither intrusive nor commanding, but profoundly calming. From this vantage, you notice the faint outlines of paths leading into distant forests, valleys, and hills. Each path is like a thread in a vast tapestry, connecting lives and stories across time. You sense the rhythms of daily life in these long-gone kingdoms, the quiet preparation for feasts, the careful tending of gardens, the soft murmur of advisors' voices in chambers where decisions shaped the lives of many. Though centuries have passed, the energy of those moments lingers, interwoven with the land itself, waiting for someone to notice, to listen, to carry it forward through imagination and reflection. As the sun dips lower, the light softens, casting long, golden shadows across the valley. You can almost see spectral figures moving gracefully in the distance, their movements gentle, deliberate, almost like dancers in a silent court. Their whispers reach your ears faintly, carried on the wind, telling of wisdom, joy, sorrow, and resilience. Each story is subtle, a quiet suggestion rather than a loud proclamation, teaching you that the lives of these kings and queens were as much about tender moments as they were about power or conquest. Here, you feel a serene intimacy with history, a sense that the past is alive in quiet, contemplative ways, accessible to those who slowed down enough to notice. A gentle breeze stirs the grass and the fading petals of wildflowers. You breathe it in, feeling it brush your face like a delicate caress. In this moment, the whispers of kings and queens are not distant or abstract. They become companions, guiding your awareness toward a soft appreciation of time, impermanence, and memory. You sense the continuity of life, the subtle weaving of individual actions into the grand tapestry of human experience. Each monarch, each courtier, each villager contributing threads that remain long after their voices have faded. As evening falls, the valley is bathed in soft twilight. Shadows deepen, but the world feels gentle and secure, as if history itself has wrapped a protective cloak around you. The whispers of kings and queens grow quieter, settling into a calm hum that accompanies the fading light. You feel an intimate connection to the land, to the stories it carries, to the elegance of lives once fully lived. Each breath becomes a meditation, each step an acknowledgement of the timeless presence around you. And as you rise and continue along the path, leaving the valley and chapel behind, you carry the serenity of these whispers with you. Their quiet lessons linger: patience, dignity, resilience, and the subtle power of gentle presence. You walk on, ready to enter villages, forests, and landscapes that still hold stories, knowing that the spirits of Europe's lost kingdoms move with you in quiet, whispering companionship. Take a deep, slow breath, feeling the hush of the past settle around your shoulders. The kings and queens of long ago may have faded from memory, but here, in this valley, their whispers remain alive, gentle guides through the serene, forgotten realms of Europe. As the whispers of kings and queens fade gently behind you, the path begins to descend toward a soft, rolling valley where a river winds lazily through the land. The water glimmers in the fading light, reflecting shades of silver, gold, and soft blue, as if holding fragments of the sky itself. Along its banks, a small village emerges from the mist, almost hidden among clusters of trees and flowering meadows. Its cottages, made of stone and timber, lean slightly with age, their thatched roofs worn but sturdy, suggesting lives that have unfolded here quietly for generations. There is no rush here, no clamor of busy streets, only a gentle rhythm, the pulse of a place where time moves deliberately, and the flow of the river marks the passage of hours with subtle grace. The first thing you notice is the stillness of the air, broken only by soft sounds, the distant clatter of a water wheel turning, the gentle hum of insects settling for the evening, and the low, melodic trickle of the river itself. You take a slow, deep breath, inhaling the cool scent of flowing water mixed with the earthy aroma of fields and gardens. Each breath feels like a balm, easing the mind and quieting any lingering tension from your journey through misty hills and forgotten castles. As you step closer, you notice the villagers moving softly, performing evening routines that are gentle and unhurried. A figure leans over the riverbank, washing cloth in the water. Another tends to a small flock of chickens in a sun-warmed courtyard. Each movement is simple, deliberate, and filled with the calm dignity of lives fully attuned to the rhythms of their surroundings. A small wooden bridge arches gracefully over the river, its beams worn smooth by countless footsteps. You cross it slowly, feeling the subtle sway beneath your weight, and notice the reflections in the water. Houses, trees, and clouds mirrored perfectly, as if the river itself preserves a hidden copy of the village in its serene depths. Ducks paddle lazily beneath the bridge, leaving gentle ripples that spread outward and fade into stillness. With every step, you feel more immersed in this quiet, timeless place, as if the village exists both in the present and in centuries past, untouched by the rush of the outside world. Exploring further, you come upon the village square. It is small but inviting, paved with cobblestones softened by moss and time. A fountain sits at its center, water trickling from a carved stone figure, its surface glowing with the reflection of the evening sky. Around it, houses and shops huddle close together, their windows warm with flickering light. Smoke curls gently from chimneys, carrying the comforting scent of wood fires and baked bread. You pause to watch a child chase a dog along the square, their laughter faint but melodic, blending seamlessly with the sound of flowing water and rustling leaves. This moment, seemingly simple, carries a profound sense of continuity, of life flowing gently through generations, unbroken and harmonious with nature. You wander toward the edge of the village, where gardens flourish between homes, bright with the last blooms of summer. Herbs, flowers, and vegetables grow side by side, tended with care and respect. A soft breeze carries the faint perfume of lavender and rosemary, mingling with the earthy scent of freshly tilled soil. Birds flit from tree to tree, their wings stirring the quiet air, and you notice bees hovering over the flowers, busy yet calm, performing their timeless work. Every detail draws your attention, inviting you to slow even further, to notice the delicate interplay of life, water, and human presence that defines this peaceful corner of Europe. Near the riverbank, a few fishermen prepare their nets for the night, their movements rhythmic and unhurried. You can hear the soft plink of wood on water, the quiet splash of oars, the gentle lapping of the river against stone. Their work seems both purposeful and meditative, as though they are in tune with a rhythm far older than themselves. You pause to watch, feeling the calm energy of routine and harmony wash over you. It is in these quiet, simple moments that the village speaks most clearly, whispering stories of resilience, care, and balance. As twilight deepens, lanterns flicker to life in the windows and along the cobblestone paths, casting a soft, golden glow. The village seems to exhale, settling into night with a gentle sigh. The river reflects the lanterns, doubling their warmth and light, creating a mirrored pathway that draws your gaze along its gentle bends. You walk slowly alongside the river, listening to its subtle song, feeling the water's coolness near your fingertips, sensing the quiet pulse of life flowing steadily through the village. Sitting for a moment on a riverbank stone, you allow yourself to take it all in. The hum of water, the soft whispers of villagers moving inside their homes, the distant sound of night, birds beginning their chorus. You feel a sense of connection, not just to the village, but to the countless generations who have lived in harmony with this river, whose whispers remain in the stones, the trees, and the flowing water. In this quiet, the village becomes a living story, a soft memory carried through time, reminding you that even in stillness, life continues with beauty, rhythm, and grace. As you rise and continue along the path, leaving the village behind, you carry its calm with you. The gentle flow of the river, the warmth of lantern light, and the quiet dignity of those who dwell here settle into your heart. You are ready now to journey further into the landscapes of Europe's forgotten kingdoms, where forests, mountains, and distant festivals await, each holding their own whispers of history, life, and serene wonder. Beyond the quiet village by the river, the path begins to narrow and wind through a dense copse of ancient trees. Their tall trunks rise like silent sentinels, and the canopy above filters the evening light into soft, dappled patterns on the forest floor. In this serene seclusion, you notice a faint, flickering glow in the distance, gently swaying among the shadows. As you draw closer, the source reveals itself. A scholar, moving with deliberate care, carrying a lantern that casts a warm, golden light against the cool hues of the twilight woods. The lantern's glow is soft, steady, and inviting, guiding both scholar and traveler along the winding path. The scholar is old, perhaps older than the trees themselves, with a cloak that brushes the mossy ground and hands lined with the careful marks of long hours spent studying texts, maps, and relics. In one hand, the lantern swings slowly, illuminating the delicate path ahead, while the other carries a collection of scrolls and manuscripts, bundled carefully as though they hold the quiet wisdom of centuries. You notice the reverent way the scholar moves, each step considered, each breath calm, as if the very act of walking is a meditation. Pausing for a moment, you allow the soft glow of the lantern to wash over you, chasing away the shadows and revealing subtle details in the forest around you. Moss carpets the stones, and tiny wildflowers peek from the undergrowth. The air carries the faint scent of parchment and beeswax from the scholar's lantern, mingling with the earthy aroma of damp leaves and rich soil. The combination is soothing, grounding, and gentle, a subtle reminder that knowledge, like nature, is both timeless and nurturing. Curiosity draws you to follow the scholar, keeping a respectful distance, as you sense that the lantern is not only lighting the way, but also illuminating hidden stories of the forest. Each flicker casts shadows that seem to hint at shapes of old ruins or carved stones hidden beneath layers of moss and roots. You imagine that these remnants are traces of long-forgotten kingdoms, the silent witnesses to kings, queens, scholars, and villagers who once traversed these lands. With the lantern as a guide, these secrets are revealed gradually, quietly, like whispered stories in the dark. The scholar pauses beside a large, gnarled tree, its bark etched with faint symbols and letters. Kneeling, they unroll a scroll and trace the markings with care, their lantern illuminating each detail with a soft, golden halo. You notice the concentration in the scholar's eyes, the gentle furrow of the brow, the steady hand, the slow, thoughtful movements. There is a rhythm to this work, a quiet communion with the past, as if every letter and symbol carries the weight of forgotten knowledge, waiting patiently for someone to witness it. In this moment, the forest feels alive not only with natural sounds, but with the gentle pulse of history, illuminated by the humble lantern's glow. Following the scholar further, you reach a small clearing where ancient stones form the remains of what might have been a library or study, long reclaimed by the forest. The lantern casts light over carved shelves, toppled columns, and scattered manuscripts, revealing the intricate care once invested in this place. Here, the past and present blend seamlessly. The scholar's gentle hands trace the curves of letters faded by time, while the trees around sway softly, their leaves whispering along with the scholar's quiet movements. It is a sacred dance of preservation and discovery, a testament to the enduring power of knowledge and curiosity. You notice the way the scholar handles the lantern with the same care they give the scrolls, adjusting its angle so the light falls exactly where it is needed. Shadows stretch and shrink with each step, revealing and concealing details as though the forest itself is participating in this quiet ritual. The soft glow illuminates tiny creatures, moths fluttering near the lantern's flame, insects stirring among the leaves, each adding life and subtle motion to the stillness around you. It is a reminder that discovery, like life, is rarely loud or sudden. It unfolds gently, patiently, and with quiet grace. As twilight deepens into evening, the lantern becomes more than a guide. It is a symbol of focus, patience, and reverence. The scholar pauses, setting down their bundles of scrolls, and lifts the lantern to illuminate a small stone tablet half buried in moss. You see faint inscriptions, delicate carvings that speak of kings and queens, battles fought and treaties signed, and the passage of time marked in subtle symbols. The scholar traces the letters with soft fingers, allowing the light to reveal stories that might otherwise remain hidden. You sense the immense care required to honor these remnants, and a deep appreciation settles in your chest for the patient attention given to preserving memory and wisdom. Before you continue on your journey, the scholar offers a small nod, acknowledging your presence without breaking the calm rhythm of their work. The lantern swings gently as they rise, illuminating the path ahead and behind, leaving a soft trail of golden light in its wake. You breathe in deeply, carrying the quiet knowledge of this encounter with you, the lesson of slow observation, careful attention, and reverent curiosity. It is a moment that feels suspended in time, one that will accompany you as you journey onward through forests, mountains, and valleys, still holding whispers of Europe's forgotten kingdoms. With a final glance at the lantern's glow fading into the distance, you continue along the path. The forest around you hums softly, carrying the gentle pulse of life, knowledge, and the patient rhythm of centuries. And as you walk, you realize that the scholar's lantern is not only a source of light. It is a guide for the mind, a beacon for the heart, and a reminder that even in quiet corners, history waits patiently to be discovered by those who move with care and awareness. Leaving the scholar and their lantern behind, the path leads you upward, gently rising toward a series of ancient forests and distant mountains. The air changes as you ascend, cooler, crisper, carrying the faint scent of pine and damp earth. Each step feels lighter and slower, as if the hills themselves are inviting you to walk in quiet contemplation. Mist curls along the forest floor, wrapping around tree trunks and moss-covered stones, softening the world into muted greens and silvers. Here, in the heart of these ancient woods, time feels less linear. The past and present coexist in a delicate balance, each leaf and branch a subtle witness to centuries gone by. The forest is alive, but in the gentlest of ways. Birds stir softly in the branches above, their wings brushing against the still air, and somewhere in the distance, a small stream burbles quietly over stones, its sound a soothing undercurrent to your journey. Fallen leaves, soft and damp, cushion your steps, creating a quiet rhythm that mirrors your own breathing. Sunlight filters in thin, golden shafts, casting long, dancing shadows across the undergrowth. Everything is bathed in a serene, almost sacred calm, a place where even the smallest movements feel intentional, meaningful, and deeply observed. As you move deeper into the woods, the path begins to narrow, twisting between ancient oaks, towering pines, and gnarled roots that rise like silent arches. You notice the textures, the rough bark, the soft moss, the delicate ferns unfurling in shaded corners. Tiny flowers peek through the leaf litter, brave flashes of color in the muted landscape. A gentle breeze carries the distant song of night creatures waking for their evening chorus. Each sound, each motion, each subtle shift in light reminds you that this forest is not empty, but vibrantly alive, holding its own quiet stories from long before any human walked here. Soon, the trees begin to thin, revealing the distant silhouette of mountains rising majestically against the twilight sky. Their peaks are softened by mist, appearing at once distant and intimate, as if they are close enough to touch yet unreachable by ordinary means. You notice the way the air grows thinner and cooler as you approach, carrying the crisp, invigorating scent of rock, pine, and the faint trace of snow from the highest summits. The path winds upward, gently at first, then steeper, curling around cliffs and ridges, offering glimpses of valleys and rivers far below. Each step upward is deliberate, measured, a meditation in motion, as if the mountains themselves are teaching patience, endurance, and quiet attention. Along the way, you find small clearings where the sun's last golden rays illuminate moss-covered boulders and sparkling streams. You pause to observe a family of deer grazing near a cluster of pines, their movements calm, deliberate, almost ceremonial. Birds glide silently between the trees, their wings catching the light, while distant waterfalls sing a soft, unhurried melody. These glimpses of life, intertwined with the mountains and forest, create a sense of profound connection. The present moment is intertwined with centuries of natural rhythm, unbroken and unwavering. As twilight deepens, shadows stretch and shift, painting the forest and mountain slopes in delicate hues of indigo and silver. You feel a sense of quiet awe as the landscape seems to stretch infinitely, yet remain intimately close. Every detail a soft invitation to linger and observe. The path winds along ridges where the wind carries a gentle, cool caress, and you notice the faint sparkle of distant rivers, glinting like threads of light braided through the valleys below. Each glance, each breath, each pause draws you deeper into the serene pulse of the land. In the higher reaches of the mountains, the forest thins entirely, giving way to rocky outcrops, low shrubs, and hardy alpine flowers that cling stubbornly to the cliffs. The view opens completely, offering a breathtaking panorama. Hills, forests, rivers, and valleys unfold like a living map of time itself. Each contour, each shadow, each fold a silent story waiting to be noticed. The air is quiet, yet alive with subtle sounds. The wind shifting over rocks, the faint cry of a distant bird, the soft patter of loose stones underfoot. Every element contributes to a profound sense of presence, a calm awareness that the journey itself is as important as the destination. As evening settles fully, the mountains are bathed in soft silver moonlight. Mist curls around peaks and ridges, and stars begin to twinkle faintly in the deepening sky. You pause at the crest of a ridge, feeling the gentle sway of cool air against your face, and notice the rhythm of your own heartbeat aligning with the quiet pulse of the landscape. The forest, the mountains, the streams, and the skies all seem to breathe in tandem with you, creating a serene harmony that is both grounding and uplifting. You sit on a smooth boulder near the ridge, letting your gaze sweep across valleys and distant villages below. Memories of the village by the river, the scholar with the lantern, and the forgotten castle blend with the present view, forming a continuous tapestry of history, nature, and quiet wonder. In this place, you realize the mountains and forests are more than mere scenery. They are guardians of stories, keepers of whispers, gentle teachers of patience, observation, and reverence for life in all its forms. With one final deep breath, you rise and continue along the ridge, carrying the calm, timeless energy of the ancient forests and mountains within you. The path ahead promises further discoveries, festivals, faded glories, monasteries, and sunsets yet to unfold. And as you walk, you feel the quiet certainty that each step, each pause, each moment of awareness is part of the gentle journey through Europe's lost kingdoms, a journey that moves softly, patiently, and profoundly into the heart of wonder. Descending from the quiet heights of ancient forests and mountains, you enter a gentle valley where the remnants of once celebrated festivals linger in subtle whispers. The air carries faint traces of music, laughter, and the scent of roasted foods, almost as if time itself has stored the echoes of joyful gatherings. Here, in these open fields and courtyards, the grandeur of celebrations long past mingles with the soft stillness of the present, creating a landscape that is both alive and reverent, brimming with memories of moments that delighted, enchanted, and united entire communities. You walk slowly across the cobbled stones of a wide, empty square. Once, this place might have been alive with dancers twirling in colorful garments, their feet stamping to the rhythm of drums, flutes, and strings. Lanterns and banners would have swayed in the breeze, shimmering under the sun or flickering under the warm glow of torchlight. Now, the banners are faded or gone entirely, the lanterns unlit, and the only movement comes from the gentle sway of grass and the soft flutter of leaves. Yet, despite this quiet, there is a sense of lingering enchantment, as if the joy of countless festivals has seeped into the stones themselves, leaving a soft, intangible warmth in the air. As you wander, you notice small fragments of beauty, carved wooden masks, half buried in the earth, pieces of ceramic cups, glinting softly under the sun, and faded ribbons clinging to posts and railings. Each artifact speaks of celebration and creativity, the energy of people who gathered to honor life, love, and the rhythms of the seasons. You reach down to touch a worn mask, imagining the face it once adorned, the laughter it witnessed, the dances it joined. Even now, it seems to carry a spark of that joy, subtle but unmistakable, like a soft pulse in the quiet air. The valley slopes gently toward a meandering river, where small bridges once connected stages, pavilions, and gathering areas for festivals. You pause to observe the reflection of the sky and surrounding hills in the calm water, noting how the ripples mimic the movements of dancers long gone. Somewhere in your mind, the sound of flutes and gentle drums hums faintly, carried on the invisible threads of memory. It is as though the valley itself remembers, preserving the grace and energy of celebration, even when the participants have vanished into history. Continuing along the path, you come across an abandoned courtyard surrounded by half-ruined stone buildings. In centuries past, nobles and villagers might have mingled here during grand festivities, their voices mingling with the hum of music, the clinking of goblets, and the warmth of shared delight. Now, birds perch quietly on the ledges, and vines curl around arches and pillars, reclaiming the space with delicate persistence. The contrast between life and decay feels soothing rather than sad. It is a gentle reminder that beauty and joy are never truly lost, even when their forms fade or shift. You notice a small fountain at the center of the courtyard, water trickling faintly from a carved stone figure. Its surface mirrors the sky, reflecting soft clouds and the occasional glimmer of sunlight. It seems as though the fountain remembers the feet of dancers, the joyful faces of children, and the contented chatter of villagers, its waters holding a quiet memory of celebrations past. You crouch to touch the flowing water, letting its coolness ripple through your fingers, and feel a gentle connection to the pulse of history, the ebb and flow of lives intertwined with these festivals and the landscapes that bore witness. In a quiet corner, you find fragments of musical instruments, a lute missing strings, a small drum cracked with age, and a pair of wooden flutes resting in the grass. Imagining their melodies, you sense the soft echo of music that once filled this space, the rhythms of hands striking drums, the airy notes of flutes, and the harmonious blending of voices. Even now, there is an intangible hum in the air, a gentle resonance that carries the memory of sound across centuries, inviting you to listen deeply, not with your ears alone, but with your heart and awareness. As twilight settles across the valley, shadows stretch across the fields and courtyards, softening the edges of broken walls and weathered stones. The fading light casts everything in delicate hues of gold, lavender, and gray, bathing the valley in a serene glow. You sense that the festivals of the past are not truly gone. They live on in the land, in the stones, in the air, waiting for someone to notice, to honor them quietly, to remember their laughter and wonder. Here, even in stillness, there is celebration, a subtle joy that lingers like a warm sigh on the evening breeze. You walk slowly toward the river once more, letting your gaze wander across the valley, imagining the faces, movements, and music of past celebrations. Each step is measured, deliberate, carrying the gentle weight of history. In this soft, quiet way, the festivals of long ago feel present, a gentle invitation to witness beauty and joy without urgency or expectation. You realize that even faded glory can inspire awe, that even the softest echoes of happiness can leave lasting impressions on the land and in the heart. As darkness deepens, the valley becomes a sanctuary of quiet reflection. The faint hum of water, the rustle of leaves, and the gentle whisper of wind become companions to your thoughts. You pause one last time, letting the beauty of the festivals, both their memory and their soft, enduring presence, settle into your chest and mind. And with that, you continue your journey, carrying the quiet, joyful spirit of this valley into the forests, mountains, and hidden corners yet to be explored in Europe's lost kingdoms. Beyond the valleys of faded festivals, your path gently rises again, guiding you toward a serene, secluded plateau. Nestled among ancient trees and soft rolling hills, a quiet monastery emerges from the landscape, its stone walls bathed in the warm glow of the late afternoon sun. The building is modest yet graceful, its arches and spires simple in design but profound in presence. A single bell hangs silently in the tower, its quiet form suggesting centuries of gentle calls to reflection and contemplation. Here, the world seems hushed, as if time itself has paused to honor this sacred space. You step closer along a path lined with flowering shrubs and moss-covered stones. Each footfall on the worn cobblestones seems to echo softly, mingling with the subtle rustle of leaves and the distant chirping of birds returning to their evening nests. The air is cool and fragrant, carrying hints of incense and aged wood, mingling with the earthy scent of damp stone and wildflowers. Every breath you take feels cleansing, a gentle invitation to release the weight of the day and allow your mind to settle into calm, patient observation. As you approach the entrance, the heavy wooden doors creak ever so slightly in the breeze. You pause for a moment, noticing the intricate carvings etched into the doorframe, delicate vines, tiny flowers, and symbols that speak of devotion, reverence, and the quiet devotion of generations who have passed through here. The details invite reflection, a reminder that even the smallest expressions of care and artistry carry meaning far beyond their immediate presence. You run your fingers lightly over the carvings, feeling the gentle ridges and grooves, a tactile connection to hands that lived long before yours. Stepping inside, the monastery is bathed in a soft, ambient light that filters through tall, narrow windows. The interior is simple, yet profoundly calming. Stone floors, wooden pews, and quiet alcoves form a sanctuary of gentle stillness. Dust motes float lazily in the beams of light, moving like tiny spirits in the serene atmosphere. There is no sound but the occasional whisper of air through the windows and the faint creak of wooden beams settling. It is a place where every shadow, every ray of light, and every quiet corner seems alive with a sense of attentive presence, encouraging reflection, meditation, and gentle observation. You wander slowly through the corridors, noticing small details that speak of devotion and care. Manuscripts rest on shelves, their pages yellowed with age, edges soft from years of handling. Candles, some burned down nearly to stubs, stand in iron holders, their wax hardened in delicate drips, capturing moments of prayer and contemplation. Each object seems to hum with quiet energy, a gentle reminder that devotion and reverence are practices sustained not by spectacle, but by patient, consistent care over time. A small chapel within the monastery draws you in with its understated beauty. The altar is simple, adorned with a single cloth and a few candles, yet it radiates a profound sense of serenity. Stained glass windows scatter muted colors across the floor, illuminating the space with soft patterns that shift as the sun moves lower in the sky. You take a moment to sit on a wooden bench, letting the calm of the room wash over you. The stillness here feels sacred, a pause between moments, a space where the weight of history and the quiet presence of those who came before blend seamlessly with the present. Outside, the monastery gardens extend along a gentle slope, their paths lined with herbs, flowers, and small shrubs. You wander slowly among them, noticing how the careful tending of each plant reflects the rhythm of devotion inside the walls. Bees hum softly among the blooms, and the occasional bird flits between branches, adding a gentle vitality to the serene scene. The gardens, like the monastery, are a testament to quiet care and enduring attention, reminding you that even in simplicity, there is richness and depth. As evening settles, the bell in the tower sways gently in the breeze, its presence silent yet powerful, marking time without intrusion. The monastery, the chapel, and the gardens all exude a sense of stillness that feels both protective and expansive. Here, in this quiet space, you sense the hum of countless prayers, reflections, and meditations carried across centuries. Each step you take, each breath you draw, aligns you with the rhythm of calm, a gentle journey inward as well as outward. Rising from your bench, you take one last slow glance around the monastery. The soft light, the quiet corners, the delicate scent of incense and earth, all settle in your memory. You carry with you the serene presence of this sacred place, ready to continue your journey through Europe's lost kingdoms. The quiet devotion and enduring care you have witnessed here linger in your chest, a gentle companion as you move forward toward distant sunsets, whispering rivers, and landscapes that still hold stories waiting to be discovered. As your journey through forests, mountains, villages, and monasteries winds gently toward its close, the path opens onto a hilltop bathed in the warm, golden light of sunset. The sky stretches wide, painted in delicate strokes of amber, rose, lavender, and soft indigo. Each color seems to melt seamlessly into the next, creating a horizon that feels infinite and inviting. a canvas where the day gives way to night in a slow, deliberate sigh. Here, atop this quiet hill, the world seems to pause, as if granting you the gift of reflection, stillness, and gentle wonder. The air is calm and cool, carrying the faint scent of distant forests and the soft mineral tang of river valleys below. You settle onto a smooth patch of grass, feeling the gentle cradle of the earth beneath you, and notice the subtle symphony of evening sounds, the whisper of a breeze through leaves, the distant croak of a frog by the river, the occasional call of a night bird beginning its watch. Each sound is soft, measured, and comforting, like a lullaby woven into the fabric of the landscape. The hills, the river, the forests, and the sky seem to exhale in unison, inviting you to release tension and breathe with them, slowly, steadily, deeply. Your gaze drifts across the valleys and ridges you have traversed. You see the village by the river, its quiet reflections shimmering like liquid silver. You remember the scholar's lantern, its golden glow illuminating hidden truths in the forest. The faded festivals echo faintly in your mind, carrying soft laughter and music through the centuries. And the quiet monastery, where devotion and patience left invisible imprints in the stones, in the gardens, in the very air. Each memory blends seamlessly with the present moment, a gentle mosaic of beauty, history, and calm. The sun sinks lower, its light softening, stretching long shadows across the hills. A gentle warmth lingers on your skin, a reminder of the day that has passed, while the cooling air hints at the night that is approaching. Somewhere below, the river glimmers faintly, reflecting the last traces of daylight in ripples that move silently toward the horizon. You feel a profound connection to the passage of time, how days, months, years, and centuries flow endlessly, yet quietly, like the river below. In this realization, there is no rush, no urgency, only the gentle hum of continuity and life unfolding with serene patience. The first stars begin to appear in the soft indigo sky, twinkling faintly, shyly, as if unsure of how their light will be received. Each one carries a whisper of eternity, a quiet reminder that the universe holds both vastness and intimacy, and that your small presence in it is both fleeting and precious. You feel the rhythm of your own breath align with the subtle pulse of the earth beneath you, the hills around you, and the rivers, forests, and valleys that stretch into the distance. Each inhalation and exhalation becomes a gentle wave, a bridge between waking consciousness and the dreamlike calm beginning to settle in your mind. As night deepens, the sunset fades into the soft afterglow of twilight. Shadows stretch and merge, forming gentle contours over the hills and valleys. A soft hush blankets the landscape, carrying the whispers of time itself, the stories of kings and queens, scholars and villagers, festivals celebrated and forgotten, monasteries tended with devotion, and rivers flowing quietly through centuries. Each whisper reaches you softly, like a lullaby that bridges the past and present, inviting you to rest, to dream, and to surrender fully to the serenity around you. You lie back gently on the hilltop grass, letting your body melt into the earth, feeling its steady, grounding presence. The sky above deepens into rich indigo, and stars twinkle with calm constancy. You close your eyes, imagining the soft touch of the mist on your skin, the gentle flow of the river, the golden glow of lanterns, and the quiet stone of ancient castles. The echoes of Europe's lost kingdoms mingle with your own thoughts, carrying you softly towards sleep. Each breath is a whisper, each heartbeat a gentle reminder that you are part of this timeless, serene world. And now, as the hills cradle you, the stars watch over you, and the night air carries the soft whispers of forgotten kingdoms, you drift gently into sleep. The stories, the landscapes, the echoes of life long past, and the quiet rhythm of the earth become a lullaby, guiding you into a night of calm dreams, where every castle, forest, river, and village rests softly in your imagination, timeless and serene. Now close your eyes. The moon hangs low over rolling hills, the air crisp and still, and the scent of old forests and stone castles drifts softly through the night. You feel the hush of forgotten kingdoms calling, a gentle voice carried through time. It speaks of silent towers and cobblestone streets, of kings and queens whose names have faded, of rivers that have witnessed centuries of whispers and stories. Each word a breath, each whisper a step deeper into calm. So settle in. Let the hills cradle you, the stars watch over you, and the echoes of Europe's lost kingdoms carry you far beyond the world of waking. Welcome, dreamer, to the Lost Kingdoms of Europe, a gentle bedtime story of empires forgotten.